I'm Erin Boyd. I'm a craniosacral therapist and personal trainer in Portland, Oregon, and welcome to my weekly video Q&A. Since foot function is one of the specialties of my practice, I get a lot of questions about foot pain, specifically plantar fasciitis. It's really common and it's also very painful, and it can be difficult to treat. So this week's question says, what are some good stretches for someone experiencing plantar fasciitis? Now, if you're not familiar with it, plantar fasciitis is the inflammation of the tissue on the bottom of the foot. It's a very thin tissue and it's sensitive because it has a lot of nerves in it. If you've ever stepped on a Lego barefoot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this sensitivity is actually by design. It gives the rest of our body information about where we are in space. So it's part of how we keep our balance, how we navigate terrain, and even how we keep from bumping into things. The sensitivity is an asset, and just like any other highly sensitive part of the body, it is prone to injury and inflammation. Plantar fasciitis is, generally speaking, considered to be an impact injury. This does not mean that you have to engage in high-impact sports in order to experience it. All that means is the repetition of a movement pattern that puts impact on one part of the foot over and over and over. It's kind of like driving your car when it's out of alignment. After some time, that's going to create an imbalance in the wear and tear on your tires, and if you do it for long enough, the tire that's taking the most heat is the one that's going to blow. Of course, we prevent this by rotating our tires and making sure that our car is in alignment. So similarly, the way that we prevent this imbalance of wear and tear in our feet is to access an equal distribution of weight throughout the whole foot. And that means a healthy launching and loading pattern. Now, in a loading pattern, the arch of the foot softens. It gets a little bit closer to the ground, and that's how it collects potential energy. In the launching phase of gait, the arch lifts. It becomes a rigid lever and it launches our weight forward, sending our center of gravity forward in space. So from a physics perspective, that's how that works. Now, oftentimes the shoes that we wear can desensitize our feet to these movement patterns, or they can just get a little bit wonky. So when it comes to stretching, this is an excellent question because conventional wisdom in the fitness world says that if something hurts, you stretch it. And if the stretch doesn't hurt, it's not working. This is not necessarily true. If something hurts, then making it hurt worse is not always going to solve the problem, especially if that tissue is already angry and inflamed. So if the plantar fascia is inflamed because it's already too stretched out from this imbalanced gait cycle, then stretching it even more can signal the nervous system to bear down on it even more and cause more inflammation and more pain. It's really going to start to protect that area. So this can be a really frustrating cycle, and that is why I generally do not recommend stretching the bottom of your foot if you are having an acute flare-up of plantar fasciitis. Instead, I advocate for achieving a balance of mobility and stability in the foot. And we can do this a variety of ways, such as intrinsic strength training, with exercises like short foot, which helps teach the foot how to move back and forth quickly between a launching and loading pattern. I have a video about how to do that, and I will post the link to that along with this one if you'd like to watch it. So I hope this answers the question about stretching for plantar fasciitis. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to post all the ways that you can do that in the description below, and I'll do another video next week.